Episode, like, let's say 25-ish of, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, Reckless Cards Hobby Night School presents 2Thicc Pod presents Inside the Mind of Sticks. And so what I thought would be a cool idea, there we go, back to the 2Thicc branding. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. This is 2Thicc Pod. This is also Reckless Cards. We've done some co-branded stuff before. We've done lots of live stuff like that. Sometimes our stuff becomes intertwined, and so I thought that this Inside the Sticks episode would be a co-branded one. One, because it's educational. And we all know that our dear friend Manuel does not want to be educated. He's already bored. He's already tuned out. He's not listening. He is watching fart jokes and watching some sort of cartoon or anime, reading his comic book, laying on his tummy, kicking his legs in the air, participating in some group chat, trolling somebody over LeBron James. So I thought this would be a good one that we can put up on both Reckless Cards, 2Thicc Pod, both YouTubes, both anchors, the whole shebang. So that way it captures the entire audience. And so I thought it would be cool to share our experience using Ryan's Cards Discord. Everybody's talking about it. Everywhere I turn, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Threads, whether it's on Instagram, people are utilizing this Discord and it has a buzz. And so I've gotten a lot of messages specifically on Reckless Cards, people asking for our opinions, our thoughts, and, just asking some questions. Some people, quite frankly, are new to Discord and don't even know how to navigate it or what the hell it is, which is perfectly fine and acceptable. So I wanted to take a moment and share our experience. But before I say that, there's a couple things that I just want to make clear. This is by no means any sort of advice on how you should participate in the space. This is no endorsement of said product. There is no pump here. There is no, it's just, I want to be clear. This is and when I say our, I mean Courtney and myself and Courtney's experience using Discord, and not even Manny. Manny's not utilizing it. And so I will give my opinions as we talk through it. I'm going to try to do the screen share thing to the best of my ability. Might fail, but we'll try. I just want to share that with you. There is no, I've never dealt with Ryan. I have bought a couple cards from him in the past off Twitter, but the exchanges were nothing more than like, pay me, here's my Zelle, thank you. Very short, very sweet, and to the point. And so I had started following Ryan on Twitter, maybe 3-4 years ago. And it always fascinated me how quickly he was able to move cards and the following he had. There's some of us, when you're on the come up, trying to move in the interwebs, it takes an act of God sometimes to sell a card. You post it, you don't get any bites, you don't get any interest. And when you finally do get a bite, it's at like 50% of what you're asking. So I was always fascinated how this guy could post a card and move it incredibly quick. And so I followed, tried to be a student, because I firmly believe that you can learn from anybody and anything. And so utmost respect for what he's doing. I've been a part of his Discord for almost a year. Now, I do want to say that, people who have asked for links, we will post the link in the show notes. And there is like an affiliate program. I've never done it before. That's not the reason I'm doing this, but I am going to put it, and I do think that I get a small kickback if somebody signs up as a result of hitting that link. Again, I only would encourage somebody to check this out if it's something that they're truly interested in, that they can afford, and it's something they want to do. Please don't do it because I'm saying that we're using it. I'm going to just share how Courtney and I utilize it. Next, it's important that I share the way Courtney and I operate, and we've made really no secret about this. If 100%, if we're just using 100 as a number, 85 to 90% of our transactions in the hobby are geared towards buying in bulk in the off season, What does that mean? That means when everybody's chasing football, we moved on to basketball and hockey. When everybody moves into buying basketball and hockey, we'll be buying into baseball as baseball ends. And so the way that we operate in that space might be a little different than those. So when I'm talking it through, because surely there's going to be somebody that uses it differently or thinks that the way we operate is incorrect, or there might be a better way to do so, you might 100% be spot on. I'm just sharing what works for us. I will also add that I am guilty of paying for convenience. I will gladly sacrifice money. I will gladly sacrifice money. I will gladly sacrifice money to make my life a little bit easier, to make things have a little bit less friction, or to move along in a better, you know, in a better mode, so to speak. So, there's things that I might say that you'll say that doesn't make sense, or you could have made extra money. I'm completely aware, just based on our lifestyle, our budget, having children, all those sorts of things. The way we operate is, I pay for convenience. So, with that being said, I'm going to try to do the screen share. And for those of you who are listening in, we appreciate it. I will try to use my words to the best of my ability to paint a picture. So while you're listening, while you're driving in your Bugatti or your Maserati, because I know the Thiccolos have money, that you're able to see the pictures in your mind with the words. So bear with me. I am old. And also, as I'm doing this, I haven't reached out to Ryan. I didn't ask for permission. Again, I don't know him. I have nothing. There's not going to be anything negative, so I couldn't imagine anybody being upset with anything I have to say. I'm just going to share what's going on here. And, like we do, we like to talk about things that are going in the hobby and try to be productive with it. So I will go into the share screen. Let's see. Of course, now that we're doing this, it wants to be a hater. So bear with me. We're going to get this squared away. We are going to get this squared away. And I probably lost half the audience, so there it is. Boom. All right. So we got right here, we've got the Ryan's Cards with two S's LLC server. I believe right now the cost of admission is $15 per month. At this given time, I want to say there's approximately 4,000 people, just under 4,000 members of this. Now, what I love about this Discord is the amount of activity that goes on at any given hour of any given day. I will share our most recent experience was last Wednesday. Myself and Courtney posted up maybe 30 cards that we just got back. We had a PSA order, an SGC order. We put them up. We always price our cards at or below comps, with the caveat or the exception being sometimes there's a card that has no recent comps, or it's so short printed or so rare that there's like some math that goes behind creating that number. And then at that point, if somebody has a question, we try to take it to the DM. So the activity is awesome. If you look over here to the left, there are rules, announcements. I do applaud the mods on this Discord. They do an incredible job of sticking to the rules. I will say that I am old, and so I am a big believer in rules and structure, and nothing annoys me more that when there's a system and process in place that doesn't get followed. To me, it's like, what the hell's the point? So I think within this server, they do a really good job of monitoring what's going on and enforcing the rules that are set forth. They also, which some of you will appreciate, they don't allow the like, oh, I didn't know any better. Like there is they put on you, they emphasize the importance of reading the rules and understanding what you're getting yourself into. They don't allow people just to go, I didn't know any better. I'm sure if it's like, maybe a light infraction, you might just get warned, but like serious stuff where, the rules are very specific, you don't follow it, you could potentially get banned. There's all sorts of announcements because this server has so much going on. We are going to focus solely on the sports cards portion because that's all I've touched on. I will quickly go over and show everything that's going on there, but I can't speak to those because I haven't used them. And they, some of them might not actually be for me, which is perfectly fine. It's cool because I think this helps encompass a larger audience because I think there's stuff like, art, shoes, supplies, Funko Pops, comics, all sorts of stuff. And again, the purpose of this video is not how to navigate Discord. I will share a couple of things as we go through, but this is just to kind of give you an overview and a feedback or share our experience. So you go through, you've got all these things. Something that they do really well that's really awesome is you have different tiers of sellers within this. Some of those involve an application process. I'm getting ready to do one. It required 25 confirmed sales, I believe. And again, details I might be a little off. So take it with a grain of salt. Please do your own due diligence. But within the different tiers of being a seller comes with different abilities to do stuff. So like the highest level of seller, you're allowed to sell something that is on its way to you that you don't physically have in hand. Some of these come with insurances that are provided by Ryan himself, which gives you peace of mind that if somebody decides to scam, that you're going to be protected up to a certain dollar threshold, which is nice. It gives you a peace of mind. One thing that I recently did that I had never done before, ever, outside of utilizing Veriswap, is I did a trade. I was able to flip one card into multiple cards and cash. And the reason I was able to do it was because I knew that Ryan and his team were personally going to guarantee what was going on. They offer things such as like a third party service. Like, so let's say you're dealing like a 4 or 5 figure card, or like, if it's a $400 card, but it's important to you. They've got people who will act as a middleman. I have yet to utilize that one in regards to a trade. The trade I made, we just did it straight up. And I just trusted that I was able to go in the vouch search and see that this person had a lot of vouches, a lot of happy people, good transactions. So it gave me peace of mind. Also, it was small enough that it would have sucked, but I felt like based on everything I had read and seen that I would be made whole by the server. And, quite frankly, I hope I never have to find out. I hope that people continue to operate on the up and up and treat each other well. So you have this thing, which is golden sellers. This is ultimately, people who have gone through an application process. They have a track record and a history of doing good. And so I'm not there yet, so I can't speak on why that would benefit me. I just know that I'm aspiring for that. And I think we're really close. I think it's just a matter of an application to get there. The one thing that I want to point out is when you're selling on Instagram or Twitter, sometimes on Instagram, you get shadow banned, or you'll post something and you'll get absolutely nobody seeing it. Like, one day we'll run a story and it's like 12 hours later and only like 150 people have seen it. Kind of frustrating when you're trying to move it. Or on Twitter, if you do a buy, sell, trade thread, it can get lost. People don't know how to navigate it. Sometimes it can be a little finicky. What I love about this is it's all there and it stays there. So as you can see, as I'm scrolling through, if you posted something at 1:01 p.m. today, and that's a Nathan Pearson Superfractor, guess what? That card stays there unless somebody actually deletes the post, but you can go back and see. So what I like to do is when I get a free moment, let's say I've been on the hunt for basketball right now, I don't have to worry about missing anything. Anybody that's posted anything or it's still for sale, I can scroll back up and see what's still available. Now, when we're talking about activity, it's about 1 o'clock, or what time is it now? It's 2 o'clock. And I will just start right here, that's 12.59. The amount of activity that's going on is incredible. So when I said the other day that we did that order, we probably did 25 to like maybe just under $3,000 of sales, and it moved within like an hour and a half, 2 hour period. And if anything, I might have maybe missed out on a potential sale or two because the influx of messages or claims within the chat was so crazy that you can only get back to, so many as possible. So first piece of advice is post really good pictures. Try to be, and this again, this is for us. I'm not telling anybody else how to operate. This is what we do. I try to post good, crisp pictures. I try to put my ask and any pertinent information about the card. I try not to clog up the feed. And I always put, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. So I operate in the marketplace for football, basketball, baseball, Bowman, hockey, soccer. Once in a while, I check out other sports. Vintage, don't really mess with too much because just not there. We've started to buy a little bit of vintage. Cool. But it's not something that I'm out actively searching to buy right now, just because I'm still in that education phase. Then this is kind of cool. There's a representative from Alt. This is relatively new, and I have yet to do a deal with Alt yet, but somebody from Alt is in buying on this channel, and I will tell you right now. Cards, they're looking for young NBA stars, baseball stars, NFL. Right now, they're currently not buying any Wander Franco, no 2022 QBs, Ja Morant, Ellie De La Cruz, and Jordan Love. Then it comes in like with how those cards will be, how like all the details within that. So if you have cards that meet these criteria, sometimes it could be nice and easy. You could potentially come in here, post it, and move it, all buy it right from you. They then have the marketplace that's high end, which makes it awesome. So you're like, hey man, I just want to see cards that are over $1,500. Well, this is the channel for you. And again, lots and lots of activity. There's not lulls. There's other discords that I've been in where you might not see cards posted for hours on end or for days on end. There is an incredible amount of activity. You have the one of ones. Hey man, I'm only interested in searching for one of ones. Well, you get to come in here and you get to see all this. Like, that is a disgusting amount of one-on-ones. Part of that's thanks to Panini, printing a million one-of-ones, but also a marketplace that's specifically designed for your one-of-ones. You have lots. We all know what lots are, several cards. This is a great way where once in a while I will come in and, scoop up something. You can tell there's somebody's either trying to get liquid because they're making a bigger purchase, or, if maybe some of the bigger guys don't want to take the time to piece it out. There's always the potential to come in here and buy. See, this one, let's say that this person is operating and being fully transparent. $450, take for $300. You know what I mean? Like there's the potential. So you have wax, you have supplies. Now, here's some of the stuff I don't get into. Pokemon. I just don't know anything about Pokemon. Comic books, Funko Pops, shoes, clothes, concerts, sports tickets, marketplace, non-sports. All right. Then they even get into set building. You have your traditional deal or no deal. This is something that's cool. This is something that I would use personally, maybe for price discovery. Not sure what to price a card, have an idea, throw it out there and see what kind of offers you get. So again, always a lot of activity and lots of cards that are posted. For those of you, we collect trading cards. Boom. This is for trading only. This is a great opportunity to say, hey, I have this card. I value it at this much. This is what I'm looking for. Cool. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Ryan does a repack. I have never bought into those. I just don't buy into a lot of repacks. I do know that it seems like that, they get really good reviews. It appears from my estimation that he's very transparent of what the floor is going to be, what some of the chasers are. And it seems like, when he puts them up, they sell fast. So clearly when something moves like that, there's a want for it and a need. Cards for under $30. Self-explanatory. If you're on a budget or you're looking for some cool, like maybe some PC items that aren't, super expensive, you might find cool stuff in here. Now, this is one of my favorites. This is something that you need to be a certain tier of seller. So if you can see, like, your name is different colors. For a while, I was eligible to sell on this channel. Um, I'm not entirely sure what I need to do to get there. I know I'm close. I know the last time I checked and got all the details that I was right there. But this is cool. Here it is. You pick a card. Let's say I've got this card, this Joe Burrow. I'm selling it for 50 bucks. You have to be 80% of the last comp and you have to share the picture of it. So it removes all guesswork. It removes all, like, people coming up with their own numbers. And what I've seen is the mods do an incredible job of monitoring this channel. Typically, stuff gets posted in here and it gets bought right away, absolutely right away. So, like, there's always people that, I know somebody that buys off of here and sells at 85%. It doesn't seem like a lot, but they're doing 5% increments at a time. And then, people will even make offers. You know what I mean? So this is a great way. People post it, like this Aaron Judge SP. He's 140, and I believe the last comp he's showing is this 175. So it's a cool thing. Cards move quickly. Now I will say, for us, we sell so much more than what we buy. Um, it's difficult for me to buy on here because I don't have a lot of time to monitor it, and because some of the stuff that we're looking for is it gets scooped up so quick. So you really have to be on your P's and Q's. There's certain cards, like if a Patrick Williams popped up, I'd be able to pull the trigger without thought. But let's say a 2003 exquisite, something that I just don't know, like I have a good idea. By the time I go and check Card Ladder, by the time I check all eBay, 130 point, whatever, service you're using, I get back the card's already sold. So you have to be able to act quickly. But, this is a young woman and young man's game. So there's some absolute savages out there kicking ass, but it's a cool spot. And if you're really trying to get liquid quick, where I used to use this is if I had a card that had a ton of upside. Let's say I was into the card for 50 bucks and it's now worth 500 bucks. Selling at 80% and not having to deal with, negotiating or going through eBay or sending it off to consignment or posting it myself. To me, sacrificing that money to move it quickly to get cash in hand to move to something else made all the sense in the world. Now, down here, they've got some different chats. I've checked out the general a little bit in the upcoming shows and the general questions. The general questions is, I'm curious, what kind of questions are people asking? What are people chatting about? What's really going on out there? Trying to keep a finger on the pulse of what's going on. Some of this other stuff, I just haven't had the time to check out, or it just doesn't grab my attention. What I think is cool is, let's say, Bowman prospecting. I like it, but I'm not really interested in being a chat right now. But if I had a question about Bowman prospecting, or I was curious about a player, or a parallel, I know that this is here, and I would lean on that and utilize that as a resource. Like, before I call and blow up Fryer or somebody and ask all these questions, I'd be like, let me do my own research. Let me see what's going on here and see if I can learn. There is a PSA group submission. I believe, yep, right there. They've partnered with Clay Cards, who we've personally utilized before. You can go look at old Reckless videos, who does an incredible job out of Ohio. So there's some discounts on grading if you go through here. So again, pretty dope. You have your vouchers, so it's a great way to just come in here and check and see, what's going on. So let's go from mentions, Reckless Cards. So you'll see all these are all, vouchers that, we've gotten, for, doing good work. Should I make this trade? This is a great one. One of my favorite things is here too, because I'm active on Veriswap a little bit lately, is sometimes I can come in here and I can actually see the advice or some of the suggestions people are giving. And so I'm always interested, because if you're on Veriswap any amount of time, you kind of see some of the same cards posted. So you start to get an idea of what some people are looking for, or what the vibe is over a certain card. So I do like checking this from time to time. Should I buy this card? What's my card worth? Known scammers, grading help, shipping education, and random acts of kindness. These are all great resources that are readily available that you can use at any time. Raz Room, not have never done any of that. I think they do a like a Raz where like Ryan will get on and he'll do all the work, doesn't take any of the money, so you net it all. But I've never actually have ever even done one Raz, so I've just never really paid attention to that. And then again, there's more stuff. Games, I know they do like video game tournaments. I don't play a lot of video games, but that's there. So yeah, you have all of this stuff available. I believe it's $15 a month. We've been in it for about close to a year. When this launched, part of when, with Hobby Night School and Reckless, anything that's small or new, we try to get involved in just to see, whether it was card score back in the day, HGA, anything that comes up, we want to try. And this is, small business. And so we try to support it, but it's been really great for us. So it's nice because I can post from wherever, I can sell whenever. There's always activity. Sometimes I post a card on Twitter and don't get a bite. I would say that if you're not selling a lot and you're not buying a lot, it's probably not worth it to you unless you're going to do the educational piece. One thing that I've had our son do is just sit in there, kind of browse it, pay attention to what's going on, and see what kind of cards are moving, see what kind of players people are after, and you can kind of get an idea of where the market is. Now, I'm not saying like if you see football cards being posted today and sold quickly, go run out and buy football. But what I'm saying is like, okay, clearly like Prism and Optic move a lot quicker than lesser brands, or you know, watch the price discrepancies, or what are people doing that are successful. So if you're going to use it like that from an educational perspective, then it's potentially worth it. For me, again, like I said, I'm willing to sacrifice a couple of bucks for quality of life and some of my time. So the $15 a month that we pay is worth it to us. Um, yeah, I've seen a lot of people chatting about this, a lot of people bringing it up. It's been a great tool for us to buy and sell and trade cards. I like it, man. I would be lying if I said I've been at shows before where I've bought a card and I just like I post it up and like these are my pickups, and then like what the hell, let's see what's going on. I get a slow moment in the show, post it, and boom, it sells from the showcase. So everybody's operating in a different way. There is no right wrong way as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're treating people with respect and being kind and thoughtful. So I want to take a moment again. Don't know Ryan. I hope that this video or podcast is at least well received. I'm sure, I am certain I didn't do the greatest job of representing all of what it can do or does do. Again, I can only speak to our experience and how we use it. And again, that's Courtney and myself. I don't believe Manny is in this Discord because right now it just doesn't make sense for him. So we'll post a link. Again, like I said, there might be an affiliate program that if you click my link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we might get a couple bucks kickback. If that happens, cool. Again, not the motivation at all. Money's never been the motivation. And if it's something you're not interested in, fast forward and move on to the next one. So I hope it was, provided some sort of value or answered some of your questions. If you have any questions whatsoever, or you want to get into specifics or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out, shoot us a DM. If you DM us on, you probably get a quicker response on Reckless Cards. Me and Manny do a poor job, which we've been very vocal about, of handling social media. But Courtney does a rock solid job over at Reckless Cards. So make sure you follow us at Reckless Cards, at 2Thicc Pod, at Manny B and Manny 1.0. And I appreciate everybody checking us out. So until next time, smash, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Otherwise, I will talk to you later.